Welcome friends, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel hopefully. This is Jess Jurassic Snark, and we today are doing a speed build of a medieval inn and pub, the Old Mare Inn, and I have built this for my upcoming medieval Let's Play, so I'm super excited to share this with y'all. I think it's going to be really cool. I'm really excited for the Let's Play itself, and I actually have some preview screenshots coming up, so that's pretty exciting. I took some inspiration from some things I'd seen on Pinterest and some medieval stuff that I've been watching. I've been watching like a medieval series on YouTube. It's pretty cool. It's a pub and an inn with 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. And right now we have some kind of preview screenshots of what maybe you can expect to see in the Let's Play. So, of course, you have to have a busty barmaid. It's pretty important. A bard, who tells stories and plays music. We've got some knights and fighters. And you will see them wearing some custom content. I think the only person who's wearing custom content is the female fighter. I'm pretty sure she's the only one. But yeah, so this is kind of some of the stuff that you might be able to expect. Some of the ideas. Look, they're flirting in the stable. How cute. I love it. Yeah, so I'm really excited about this build. I'm really excited about all the stuff coming up in this Let's Play. So here I wanted to build a stable, and it took me a little while to figure out exactly what I wanted it to look like. So I kind of had to play around with, columns and fences and gates and all that good stuff to kind of get it to where I wanted it to look. And one of the problems that I was having is freaking color swatches, man. I know every builder harps on this all the time, but color swatches drive me crazy. The fence does not match the gate. Why is that? Look at this. Look at me struggling here. The fence does not match the gate. There is no fence color that matches that gate color, and I'm pretty sure that's the gate that came with Spa Day. So I'm very sad about that. It's very frustrating to me. What are you going to do, though? What are you going to do? So, like I said, this is the Old Mare Inn. It has 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. It is 90,607 simoleons, and it's built in Windenburg and kind of the downtown area. I believe this is the lot that the Narwhal Arms is usually built on. So that's where it's built. So for my Let's Play, I'm going to be kind of rebuilding a lot of the city of Windenburg, because my Let's Play is going to take place in the Kingdom of Windenburg, which is, I think, obviously like the perfect neighborhood for it to take place in. It's the only one that even looks halfway medieval. So hopefully it kind of works out. And I think it will. You just kind of have to ignore the cars driving by every once in a while and the townies that are dressed normally. So I think in this downtown area, there's 3 lots in this area. So this is going to be the inn and the pub, and then there will be a downtown kind of like marketplace, and there's going to be a church as well, because that was very important in medieval times. There's also eventually things that you can expect coming up. There's going to be a farm. I just actually finished a really amazing castle, a really wonderful medieval castle. So that's going to be coming out probably not next weekend, because I'm going home for my mom's 70th birthday. What up, Mom? Happy birthday. Got to give your mom a shout out. But so it probably won't come out next weekend. Next weekend I have like another pre-recorded video from that I've already done. That's like a spa for San Myshuno. So that's probably going to come out maybe like on Wednesday of next week, just to tide y'all over. And then the weekend after that, I'm going to post the castle. And then there's going to be a witch's house, a noble's house. That's going to be pretty cool. And then I will probably do casses, like a create a sims. Probably not for everybody, but for some folks. So I'll probably do the create a sim for the witch. I've already created the king and queen, so sorry you missed that one. I didn't record it because I wasn't thinking. But maybe I'll do the nobles. Maybe that's something I'll do. But I'm also going to create some townies as well, so that hopefully some of the folks walking around, when you go to the market, it's not a bunch of, or when we go to the market during my Let's Play, it's, not, Bjorn Bjorgensen or whatever. So I used a lot of stuff from the debug menu. You can kind of see me right here. So this is the stable. So fortunately we have horseshoes, which is really cool because of the horseshoe game that came with the outdoor retreat pack. So I put a bunch of horseshoes on the ground, and then I thought these little like rocks kind of look like horse poop, so I put them in one of the stalls. And then there's like some hay that I put in. There's like twigs and stuff that I put on the ground just to kind of clutter it up a little bit, make it look more like a realistic um, uh, stable. I almost said dungeon because I also used hay in the dungeon of the castle. Ooh, preview. How exciting. The castle is awesome, you guys. Like this, you folks, like this is like, the Old Mare Inn is cool, and I'm really proud of it, and I really like it. But the castle is something else. It's the first castle I've ever built, so I know you have to wait 2 weeks to see it, but it's going to be great. So just get ready. Get ready. It's going to be awesome. So yeah, I sized up the horse statues on the outside because I thought that was cool. And then I use this a lot throughout my medieval builds. I used the little posts, and then I put lanterns on them to make it look like the lanterns are hanging off of the posts. So it's kind of some, believable medieval lighting, even though it does scare me, the idea of having like fire in a building with a bunch of hay. I feel like that'd be really dangerous, but such is the life of the Sims. They're always in danger of catching on fire. Um, so now we're moving on to the actual pub itself. And this is obviously modeled after, the kind of Tudor style. A lot of the houses in Windenburg already look like this, but I did get a lot of inspiration on Pinterest for the different buildings. There's some really cool like medieval modeling that folks do, and my Pinterest, obviously you can get to it through my channel. I'll link it down below as well in the description, but my architecture board, you'll see that I have saved a lot of like medieval builds or like ideas, and they're people's like modeling, and I'm not sure what it's for. I think some of it is for like fantasy gaming, which is really cool, but it's really awesome and super easy to draw inspiration from. And so obviously this like kind of Tudor style is first kind of came about in those times, in those medieval times, and so I wanted to make sure that I incorporated that. And that's one of the styling things. I think you just saw me do it. It's important to not just like hit shift and like paint the whole building the same wallpaper. You kind of have to like alternate the wallpapers and like do different types of wallpapers to make it look right. So you can see that I've like alternated the diagonal left and the diagonal right back and forth, and that definitely makes a big difference. So if that's something that you're kind of struggling with, is making your wallpaper look right when you have the Tudor style, you do have to put a little extra work into it to make it look right. So that would be my piece of advice for you. So I didn't put a whole lot of windows. I try to make it, at least somewhat believable that this could exist in, medieval times. And windows were expensive, and they let the heat out, and they let the cold in, or vice versa, right? If it's hot out, they let the heat in and keep the cool air, like the cool air wants to leave. So they wouldn't have had a whole lot of windows, and that's why I didn't put a whole lot of windows in. And so I use a lot of columns in this build. This is where the bar is going to be. It took me a while to decide if I wanted to be 4 spaces or 5 spaces, but then eventually I decided on 4. And you can see all the stuff that I took out of the debug menu and put out front so that I wouldn't forget to use it. And then the hanging candlelight lamps, even though I realize they're not actually candles, I think those are lamps. But that's okay. We'll survive. So yeah, I kind of was trying to figure out, and I wanted to make sure that I used a bar that didn't have taps on it, because they wouldn't have had taps. I don't think, right? I highly doubt it. They would have poured beer out of kegs. So even though the immersion is kind of lost because that's not how it really works in gameplay, you'll see later I put like a big stack of kegs in the back. So again, I use a lot of stuff from the debug menu, so you're going to see a lot of that coming up, especially in the kitchen area. And I did kind of want to address the fact that, this game is not kind of set up for medieval gameplay. So there's some things that I've been noticing while I've kind of been testing and going through and stuff that I'm going to have to kind of like plan for. So obviously medieval folks like didn't have refrigerators, but Sims need refrigerators, otherwise they don't get to eat. So they also need a countertop. So that's like really frustrating because there is no like wooden countertop in The Sims, like wooden top countertop. And so eventually I like come back and I replace these with tables instead, but they still have to have a countertop. They can't prepare food on a table. It has to be a countertop. Seems like, at least that's what it seemed like to me. So, I use these old-fashioned um, stoves, and I'll use the old-fashioned fridges. But I did want to put out there, and I think I said this in my last video too, the Pink Queen Anne, when I was kind of introducing this idea. I'm going to be remodeling these builds with custom content. There is some freaking fantastic custom content out there, y'all. Like, really, really good. Like, some really, really amazing stuff. And I want to give a big shout out to Historical Sims Life. I think it's a she. She is freaking insane. She has some really good stuff, medieval stuff, prehistoric stuff, Edwardian stuff. So check out Historical Sims Life for custom content because that stuff is so good. And I'm going to be, when I do those medieval remodels with the custom content, I will be linking the custom content that I use, links to it, in the description box. So there's just some really good stuff. Like there's a fireplace that works like a stove, which is so cool. And there's like a wash basin, so you don't have to have a sink, because obviously they wouldn't have had sinks. There's like a more realistic medieval toilet, which is awesome. So I'm going to be using a lot of stuff. And then musical instruments too. There's some really great medieval looking musical instruments. So yeah, I use the kegs there, and I size them up, and then with the bracket key, and then I use the Control 9 to lift them up. So there's like a big stack of kegs, which is pretty cool. So that's believable. And then, obviously, I put those shelves in the wall and then use the 9 key to lift these wine bottles up. And then I put these bottles and mugs and stuff up on the shelves. So one thing I did notice, though, when I was actually testing the castle build, because I actually didn't test this one for very long, the old Mare, because there wasn't as much to test. The castle's freaking gigantic. That the decanters of liquor that come with, I think it's from the Glamour Life, the vintage Glamour stuff pack, and then any like empty cups, any like empty wine glasses, any empty mugs. I assume, actually, I don't know for sure the mugs, but I know the wine glasses do. They'll start to smell after a few hours, so it gets like that like green stuff, and like the pan that's right there on the counter, and any bowls, like cooking bowls, they do start to get that like green um, mist, I guess, over them that indicates that they smell bad and need to be cleaned. And it does create an uncomfortable moodlet for your Sims. So unfortunately, some of the immersion will be lost there. So some of that stuff you're going to have to take out. As of this recording, this build is not available on the Sims Gallery, but by the time you're watching it, it will be. It is set up to be I think a bar, I'm pretty sure is what I set it up to be, for a community lot, so that you'll get community Sims showing up. And then some of the requirements I hid in a basement room at the very end of the video. You'll see that I did that. So again, I would imagine probably the fruit is going to do the same thing. It's going to smell after a while. I don't actually know for sure. So that was a little disappointing for me. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I love these milk cans. Those look super cool. I'll get rid of the big one because it looks kind of out of place. But there is a lot of really good stuff in that debug menu. And if, like this UFO, who knows? Maybe you want to like have a UFO crash in your build. There you go. Use the UFO. If you want to get to the debug menu, it's really, really simple. All you do is you, in-game, you want to hit Control-Shift-C. That's going to bring up the cheat box. And then you just type in bb.show-hidden-objects, all one word, and hit Enter. Now, a lot of times when you put in cheats, it'll come up and say, like, cheats are enabled, or this cheat is enabled. It doesn't do that. for this, okay? So if you don't get a message, it does not mean you did anything wrong. But you'll know because if you type in debug into the search box, which you can see that I've done there, you type in debug and search for it, you'll see all this stuff starts to come up. So you know, that's where you can find like the pawns and like coffee mugs and like makeup and ice cream cones and all kinds of cool stuff. It also unlocks stuff like the sugar skulls from the like the Mexican sugar skull challenge, and like the fruit from the plant sim challenge, and like grow fruit trees and from the grow fruit challenge like way back in the day, right? So it unlocks all that cool stuff. You can also unlock um, career rewards too. I always forget this one. It's BB dot ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement. I believe ignore gameplay unlocks entitlement, and that will unlock the gameplay entitlements. So any like career rewards, that kind of stuff, will start to show up as well, which is cool. So yeah, the fireplaces that we have that are available right now. This one came with the Parenthood pack. They don't look super medieval. Like this one looks okay. The one from the vampire. Oh my gosh, the vampire pack looks okay. But it's not great. So again, that's like another thing that I'm probably going to be using custom content for because I really want that immersion in the game, and that's why I'm going to be creating townies too. I'm going to be doing my best to like delete out of my save, whatever save I use for this, um, all the townies that wear normal clothes and be putting in some more medieval looking townies. So like peasants and nobles and, middle class folks. And a couple maybe surprises too. So I said that weird surprises. Some cool surprises in there as well. um, so in terms of like what the Let's Play is going to be about, I think there's going to be a fight for the right to be the next ruler in the world, and there's going to be some like opposing sides. Some folks who maybe want to do things that aren't so nice, and some folks who want to be more helpful. I guess that doesn't really tell you a whole lot, but I can tell you about some of the characters that are going to be uh, involved. So I already know that there's going to be a king, a queen, a princess, a sorcerer, some knights, some ladies in waiting. There's going to be here, obviously, in the pub, there's going to be a matron, a bartender slash matron, a chef. There's going to be a bard, some rogues. There's also going to be a priest, a nun, maybe some caretakers. There's going to be a farmer and his children. There's going to be a lord and a lady with their sons. There's going to be a witch, which is exciting. And then lots of other like townies, like I already said, peasants, nobles, and then hopefully a few surprises, because apparently that's how I say that word. So there's going to be a lot of like builds coming out. There's this one. I'm definitely going to post this one, obviously, because you're watching it. And I'm definitely going to post the castle because the castle is so cool, you all. It's going to be, I think it's probably going to be 2 parts, actually. I kind of talked about it like it was going to be 1 part, but I think it's going to be in 2 parts just because it is really long. It's 4 stories, technically 6 stories, because I build down into the basement. So yeah. So that's probably going to be in 2 parts. And I'm definitely going to do the market, I believe. I think I'll probably post the witch's house too. I'll probably post the church. And I don't know, maybe I'll also do the farm. I probably won't do the noble's house. I think that's probably going to be the least interesting out of all of them. I might do the farm. It kind of depends on how into like the actual farming I get, but yeah. So this is cool. This is probably like the most skilled layout I have ever done, and I actually did it really quickly. So you can see those like little 2 square rooms. Those are just going to be toilets. Because it's a medieval pub, you know what I mean? It's a medieval inn, and they are not going to have like amazing bathrooms for for folks to get into. So I also wanted to have So the owner, the bar owner, the matron, right? Her bedroom, her office, and then like a nicer bathroom for her. And then uh, I wanted to have like a one nice room for guests, and then three kind of like normal rooms, kind of not like super nice looking or anything, room for guests, and then a few privies, so places to use the bathroom, so toilets. And I use the debug toilet that like I guess you can build on the woodworking bench. It's like when the toilet doesn't come out good. I'm not really sure what it's from, but or maybe it's from the hermit's house. I don't actually know, but so yeah, and I'm putting in the lighting. Obviously, I use mostly candles. So there's like the hanging candles, the wall-mounted candles. There's another really good set of wall-mounted candles from the Vampire Pack too. That one's really cool. This one is from um, uh, Get Together. So I use a lot of stuff from Get Together in these builds. I use a lot of stuff from the Vampire Stuff Pack. So if you don't have those, you're kind of going to be up a creek trying to download this stuff. Also, if you go to download pretty much any of my builds from the gallery, it's going to be really, really important that before you do, you put on the Move Objects cheat. So bb.moveobjects, because otherwise it's probably going to be weird. Stuff might move around a little bit, and you probably won't like that very much. So, yeah, when I do the remodel, a lot of this stuff is going to change because those toilets don't make any sense. And actually, the toilet that comes with the I guess it doesn't come with a pack or anything. It's custom content. The toilet that I would want to use is actually 2 squares wide, so I might have to move some stuff around a little bit, or maybe I just won't do that in these ones because wasn't able to plan for it. But in the castle, I'll be able to fix it pretty easily. So yeah, also some of the beds, like I feel like they don't make super sense. This one's okay. This one made the most sense, I think, for the little rooms. And so the matron's room and the nicer room, those are like obviously a little bit nicer. I put some more like interesting stuff in there. I put some curtains on the wall eventually. I put a lot of fireplaces in this build, like a lot of fireplaces. And then this room right here that I'm starting to decorate, this was supposed to be kind of like a meeting room, like a secret meeting room for some story stuff, some gameplay stuff that happens later, where people are going to be able to like meet in secret and talk to each other. um, and so I thought that was pretty cool. And you probably saw that in the screenshots earlier, where like the bartender lady was like talking to the knight and the rogue woman. So that's pretty cool. So I'm excited about that. And I think that's like a really important thing when you are building is thinking through like, cool, what what do I want out of this space? Like, who's going to be using it? Who's going to be living here? What is the space for? And it makes it really a lot easier to decide what to put in it, because I know a lot of times with especially like bigger builds, it can get to a point where it's kind of like, ugh, I'm just filling space at this point, But if you think through like, cool, who are the characters that are going to live here? What are they like? What do they need to do? What do they want to do? Like, what are some things that are going to happen? Like, what happens in this space? I think that makes it a lot easier for you to come up with like ways to fill it that are more meaningful and feel less like, just work, that you're just trying to like fill space as best as possible. So you'll get like the basics of what I put in the build in this video, but you'll also notice when you watch the screenshots at the end that I add in some extra stuff. I clutter things up a little bit more. I actually use some of like the cracks in the wall from the Vampire Stuff Pack just to make it look a little more aged. And so this is the study, or like the kind of like the business room. This is where she keeps the books. Um, so that quill you can unlock with the unlocks entitlement cheat. And then there's just some regular U.S. mail. Makes sense. Why not? Yeah, I didn't want to use the book here, but that I definitely use in a bunch of different other places. That's going to be used in some other areas, as Soph Sims would say, areas. So I can't even tell you all. I am so excited for this Let's Play. It's so funny because in my first build, I was like, maybe I'll do a Let's Play, maybe not. I don't really know. But then I kind of got this idea and I have been like going crazy over it. I'm so excited to do it. I've been watching other people's Let's Plays just to kind of see like, how much storytelling they do and how much of actual like gameplay they do. And I think I want to do mostly gameplay, just because I'm not really skilled at like machinimas yet, and like I don't have any pose packs cheats in my games or anything like that. So I'm probably going to be doing a lot of gameplay, but it'll be really fun. I think it's going to be cool. And I just like the idea of being able to use custom content to make this game your own and to do whatever you want with this game. Like you can pretty much use it to do like I said, whatever you want. Like there's all kinds of stuff out there that you can really make a unique experience for yourself. So we're coming up on the end of the build, so please like this video if you liked it. Please subscribe to my channel. That way you will be able to have access to all of the other builds, all of the other creative sims for this medieval Let's Play, and then eventually the Let's Play videos themselves. So I think I'll probably be starting the actual Let's Plays in September, and then the rest of August I'm going to be posting all of the builds and that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for watching with me today. I really, really appreciate it. Especially if you're still here and you're still watching. If you are, leave a comment in the comment box down below because you're my favorite. Here's me hiding a TV and a stereo in the basement to make it a bar. um, but anyway, like I said, but please like this video, please subscribe, please share it with people that you think are going to like it. And as always, my friends, have a really, really, really great rest of your day. I super appreciate you. Thanks a lot.